want you to win. I want you to achieve. I want you to become great. I want you to make your dream reality. But I can't just want it for you. You're competing against millions. You must do what they won't. See the vision they don't yet see. Dream bigger than they ever have. You must chip away at your dream. I want you to win. I want you to achieve. I want you to become great. I want you to make your dream reality. But I can't just want it for you. You're competing against millions. You must do what they won't. See the vision they don't yet see. Dream bigger than they ever have. You must chip away at your dream. I want you to win. I want you to achieve. I want you to become great. I want you to make your dream reality. But I can't just want it for you. You're competing against millions. You must do what they won't. See the vision they don't yet see. Dream bigger than they ever have. You must chip away at your dream.
Every single person out here has a dream, but the reality is that they lose sight of it. We get busy, we get caught up in work, and our dream passes us by. I'm here to make sure that doesn't happen, inspiring people to take the small steps and realize that dream that's way up here is actually possible when you chunk it down and you move closer to it. So I come out here and I hold up my sign every day. Hey guys, my name is Zach. I'm out here talking about dreams. I started doing signs that were motivational and inspirational. And then after weeks of doing that and 40, 50 signs, my friends online said, dude, I know you're missing these great conversations. We need to see what you're talking about with the people, not just a picture of your sign. So I got this GoPro right here. And now it's evolved to where I've become more clear about my life's mission, which is everything about dreams. The very first day I came out here, I'll be so honest with you, I was terrified. I was scared of what people think. I'd already spoken on stage. I was scared. I was like, what if people shut me down? What if people, hate on me? What if people cuss me out? The what if is what holds everybody back. What if they don't?
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another installment of Dream Talk. Today is a special edition. I will be joined by a special guest, but first, I am your host, Zach Krupp, aka The Genie, aka Dream Cat Solana, and what we're going to do is we're going to talk about dreams and making them come true. We're going to talk about self-help and personal development and how you can apply it to the crypto space, why it's relevant, because we're all here chasing the crypto dream, right? That's why we Dream Talk. If you don't know already, I'm the founder of Dream Cat. Maybe you've seen him, the most successful cat in the world. We have plans on how can we integrate him into this show. In an ideal world, could I replace my face with Dream Cat? That's a possibility. And also, if you're interested in a giveaway, hang tight with us. We've been trying to make them a little bit more fun. We're going to do the main giveaway at the end. It's sort of like a game show, right? So you can earn points along the way by being active in the chat. We'll just check in. We'll say a keyword, see if you're listening. You can get points and win some dream that way. And then we'll have we do a little game at the end, sort of like a guessing game. People have had fun with it, so I'm looking forward to it. I see Amos in the building. I see we had a few shout outs. Looks like maybe J-Dog in the building. And I saw my man, the People's Coin. Don't worry, our special guest, let's shout him out before he arrives. So he's doing an alternate stream. He does a show of his own. He's probably going to pop in with us in about 10 minutes or so. That'll give me the chance to warm up the topic and get into it. And he's going to shed some light on it. And I'll tell you about that in a second. Actually, let me tell you about it right now. So today's topic, so you know what you're walking into. is, man, it's loaded, it's powerful. The question is, are you guilty? The question is, are you chasing a pipe dream? And we'll get into what a pipe dream is, and we'll get into the deeper layer of that. And basically, in short, what this is I'm a witness. I see people all around saying, I have a dream, and oh man, I'm really short on funds. I really need money. And it's like, when I observe this, it's almost like I can't take it seriously, because if my back was up against the wall, I'm like, you don't understand. Boom, 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 bing. So we're going to talk about this. This can be enlightening. This can be potentially game-changing if you're asleep at the wheel. Hello, Suyon Sun 6464 Biru. Hello, hello. What app is this here? Someone else. I don't know what that comment is. All right, let me shout out my man Peanut real quick, and we'll just dive straight in. We're also going to take a look at the charts. We're going to do a quote of the day at the end. I got a new quote of the day visual for you. It's a DreamCat quote of the day from here on out. And let's just pull up Peanut on the screen and shout out the co-host. So Peanut is a friend of ours. This is his account here. Peanut is a friend of ours who we can relate to. Maybe some of you guys are here to show him some love. The reason why we relate is he's into similar what you would call self-help and personal development, right? That's kind of our space here. We're not just here to say degen, moon, meme coin. It's like, how can we package a financial vehicle to make money in a way that can serve people? We do that through education. We do that through inspiration. My man Peanut out here, similar like minds, right? Positivity. He's into the self-help and growth. How can I make this my best year? How can I execute with consistency and discipline? Key pieces of the puzzle, guys. Key pieces of the puzzle. And an interesting note for some of you out there is this is starting to emerge, by the way. This is starting to emerge. Shout out to my man, Cody from the Ninja Cats. He's been doing personal development spaces, putting people on. Shout out to my man, Libre. Libre is building his brand sort of on this framework of principles, along with, some patriotism and other things he likes. So, yeah, just had to throw that out there. And if you're tuning in, watching this, please give us a shout. Let's go through who shared us real quick, and then we'll get into it, and I'll get in, and then when Peanut pulls up, we'll shed some additional light. So we got Amos. Let's share this on the screen here. Appreciate you guys who are shouting us out. If you can, if you don't want to retweet, if you can just drop a comment, that always helps the algorithms. But we got Amos here in the building. Must be late for you, Amos. This could be powerful for you, bro. I hope you can hear it. It shouldn't be too long. It should be shorter. Got a new follow. Oh, looking forward to this tonight. So Peanut's gonna be joining us in a little bit. We'll show him some love since he's joining us. Okay, yeah. Tag some friends, get some people over. Let's fill it up. All right, with that, let me get started. Let me fill your cup. Let me put you on game, okay? And Peanut knows the topic he's gonna have to fill in because we just get going. So here's what I see, and here's how it can help you. And hopefully I can just give it to you in like 10 minutes. Honestly, give it to you in 10 minutes, the bulk of the idea, and maybe you can work with it. Okay, first and foremost, are you guilty of chasing a pipe dream? What is a pipe dream? Let's focus on that. What is a pipe dream? I have a definition. I posted this a few days ago, okay? So we're looking at this. A pipe dream, based on standard definition, let me make that bigger for you, is an unattainable or fancy hope or plan. A pipe dream is an unattainable or fanciful hope or plan. We always talk about some people are hoping their dreams come true. Some people wish their dreams would come true. Some people they got their meme coins, they got their cats, they got their dogs, they got their, SPX 6900s. They have all their plays, and they're just sitting there saying, man, maybe, the Trump admin will pass something. I heard there's going to be some big crypto bill. Maybe, memes are going to trend again, or something's. You're putting your dream outside of yourself. And what we want to do here in the DreamCat community is we're here to chase a dream. No doubt about it, we're here to chase a dream. But we're also here to empower you. We're here literally telling you that there are laws and principles that govern success in the world. And if you follow these laws and principles, you will in fact win, because the laws and principles are undefeated. Well, the exciting part about this is that DreamCat here, to my knowledge, is probably the only project in Web3 that I've ever come across that is following these principles. They're slower, you don't see them right away, you put the pieces in place, but they're undefeated and they will work. And these same principles are something that we teach each week and say, hey, why don't you put these in your tool belt? Why don't you fill this in your Web3 crypto journey so you don't have to wish, you don't have to hope you get the moon back. No, you can actually move with dreamer movement. Dreamer movement meaning you can take thoughtful actions to make your dream come true. Shout out to Pie Queen Meta in the building. Appreciate the follow. I'm going to check you out. If all looks well, I'm going to follow you back. So, are you chasing a pipe dream? A lot of people are. I see a lot of people are just hopeful wish. We can all have millionaire talk. We'll be millionaires. Let's be a millionaire. I'm going to make my first million. We can all talk about this. But I don't want, and maybe you get lucky. Luck happens. I've been lucky a few times. But I don't want you to live on that. And so I'm going to tell you something I've seen. We all know about the tools. Maybe we'll talk about some of those tools as a bonus. Maybe the 2 biggest tools to manifest your dream. I'm going to throw that at the end. That's a bonus if you want to stick around. 2 biggest wild cards to manifest your dream. And this is something I've been in this space, not in the crypto space. I've been in the crypto space for about 4 years. I've been in the self-help space for maybe 8 or 9 since I've been introduced to it. And I can tell you these things are hitting me home and I'm using them and I know that they work. So, okay, so first of all, are you chasing a pipe dream? Interesting. Now, from there, you have to answer that question for yourself. Yes or no? Is your dream that you have a hope, a wish, or is there a plan? Now, that's the first thing that gets me going, that makes me think. The second thing that inspired this talk, and that Peanut's going to add from a relationship perspective, I'm going to add from a doing the works perspective, is what I would call half-hearted efforts. Half-hearted efforts. Matter of fact, keyword. We'll do the first point right now. Let's see who's with us. If you're here live watching, type half-hearted efforts in the live comment section and you will get a point. Points lead to dreams. So we'll do 2-point systems. We'll do a grand finale for 15,000 dream and point systems who's following along for 15,000 dream. So if you get the most points when we're done, 15,000 dream, just like that. Half-hearted efforts. I'm even going to type it for you because when you type, you learn. It helps with retention. It's not just BS. It helps with retention when you take notes, when you type. I got my notes. Half-hearted efforts. This is what I see in Web3. This is what I see in the space. This is what troubles me. It's hard for maybe you to believe that I actually want you to win. Why would I want to help you for like no reason, right? What do I get if I'm here pouring into you? Like, does that make sense? Like, most people are selfish. Most people are out for themselves. I do have an intention here. I've been very clear. I want to build a large community of dreamers. So I say, hey, here's the token. Let's potentially send it to the moon. You help us promote it, build the brand, and it's a fair trade. That is what I'm in it for. But I have this shtick about me in life where I get a high out of seeing people win. All right, we got J-Dog in the building. Shout out to my man J-Dog. Point number 1, leaderboard. I have this shtick where I want to see people win. I get excited showing you what's possible in your life. I get excited speaking into you and telling you that anything really is possible. I get excited when I see you recognize the same principles that I use and you apply them and you say, holy crap, they actually work. Holy crap, discipline is producing for me. Oh my gosh, I felt like quitting, but consistency has really changed the game on my viewership or my growth in Web3 or X. The principles work if you work the principles. So I see this and I have not a soft spot in my heart, because honestly, I don't have that much empathy on this. I'm just identifying people are saying one thing, but I witness half-hearted efforts. Now, here's what I mean. If there's some people out there who need $150 this week to secure an apartment for them and their wife. That's one story I heard. There's some people out there. I know someone who has a father who's sick, who needs some medical. I know some people who want to move out of their house. I know people with all different needs. Everyone has needs for money. And I always think if it was do or die for me, what would I be willing to do? If my back was up against the wall, what would I be willing to do to produce, to create? Can you relate? Like, if you really have a dream and you have a big enough pain point, which is what I'm going to talk about, which you might be missing. If you have a big enough pain point, you don't have to wish and wonder. There is no pipe dream. You become undeniable. You have to just align yourself with some vehicle or source, but you would put in efforts to make it come true. And so what I'm seeing, the biggest thing I'm seeing is so many people out there say, I have a dream. Yeah, I'm chasing my dream. We're chasing the dream. I don't live with you. I don't see what you're doing behind closed doors. All I can see is your intention, your dream that you share, and then the actions you take. If you tell me that you want to be a TikTok influencer, if you tell me you want to monetize on social media because $250 a month would change your life, that's what I know, and the efforts I see is what I can validate, right? What I can grasp and make an opinion on. But what I want to tell you is half-hearted efforts are the biggest problem. There's different layers of dreamers. There's dreamers. What's up? Maybe Christian's a dreamer. What's up, Christian? Nice to meet you, man. Welcome in, welcome in. We're talking about crypto and dreams. Maybe that can relate to you. Maybe you have a dream. Let us know in the comments. So, got distracted. Let me get a water. Get back on track. I'm gonna keep the comments closed for a second, but I'll see when we got some new ones. I'll read them. All right, so bear with me here because I'm going to lay it out, and I'm going to lay out what you need or what you're potentially missing and how you can fill the gap. Because there's different types of dreamers in the world. When we put DreamCat out there, my buddy, I met up Bubba Gump in real life the other day in Florida. He's the dev of Ninja Cats. Pretty cool. Cat devs meeting up. I met him in Florida. And he said, it's genius, right? Because the whole DreamCat thing, everyone does have a dream. I said, yes, everyone does have a dream. So I see Peanut just pulled up. Peanut, if you can hear me, man, make sure you get that lighting set up. Make sure you get situated, all that good stuff. And, your name, and you're good to go, your volume, your check, and I'll pull you up here and give you a reintroduce because I think you got some fans out there potentially. So there's a couple different layers. He said it's unfair. Everyone has a dream. Everyone does have a dream. But what are you going to do with that dream? Some people say, I have a dream, and they're just going to work a job for the rest of their life. Some people have a dream, and they say, you know what? Screw it. I want to lose this many pounds. I'm going to chase this. I'm going to get a personal trainer. I'm going to be in pursuit of this dream. Some people are in that half-hearted place. I have a dream. They tell people they're taking actions, but they're sort of on autopilot. They're not all in. They're not putting everything on the line. And then some people who are chasing a dream, they actually make it come true because they have the form, they have the right ingredients, which is basically pressure or do or die. If for me, it's not acceptable for me to not have a place to live. So if I need money to pay my rent, no matter what, I will always live up to that standard. I will get the money, I will find the way, and I will do it. And I think what some people are missing is either the standard that they hold for themselves. You're lacking the standard, and that's why you just don't go the distance. You don't achieve oh yeah, I'll get kicked out of my apartment. That's fine. I can sleep at my friend's house. That's not okay for me. If you have the standard, you will always hit that standard. Some people's standard is $4,000 a month. Some people's standard is $12,000 a month. Some people's standard is $30,000 a month. And it's varying different degrees, but every single person hits their standard. So for you, one of those pieces could be raising your standard. Another thing is with people is they don't have enough pressure. So there's this do or die. And if you don't do this, if you don't get this amount of dollars, if you don't make your dream come true by this date, you got to work at 9 to 5 for the rest of your life. Or you have 1 year of funds. I'll just be real. That's my situation. I have a nest egg. This is the year that I have the pressure to chase my dream, right? And I have to, otherwise I got to go work or something, right? I'm not interested in that. I want to live my dreams. So I have that pressure point. That's my situation. I have 7-8 months to basically become, build a brand on social and monetize it and make, double my monthly income. I have to do that. If I don't, then I run out of money, right? So pressure makes diamonds. Okay, now before I keep going, because I go, I'll park this thought, and I want to bring Peanut here because he's the host. I see him smiling behind the scenes. He's listening in. He's waiting for his introduction. Okay, I just want to formally introduce this guy. I mentioned it earlier, but I want him to hear the praises so he feels excited to come up here. We'd connected a lot in the space because we have a similar mindset, right? This is a guy who has positive attitude. You see him uplifting others. You don't see him, out there screwing people over in this. He has a good heart. He's in the space for the right reasons. He's consistent. He's built his own brand brick by brick when it was at zero, and he's got a good following of people. You may know he heads up the long lost community. This is an NFT community. I pulled him up before. We'll give him a quick shout again. If you want to follow him, we'll give him a formal shout. He retweeted the space. So just look for him in the comments. Let's see. We had him up here. Hopefully I didn't click off you, bro. I may have. Let's bring it up right here. And then we'll bring him on the stage. First, you can see him by his, you may not even know what he looks like. Let me show you his alias first, okay? This is his alias, Peanut. He's got the flame. Maybe you've seen the flame around. You saw that in some of our promos. So he says, Mr. Heart on his sleeve, project lead of Long Lost. So check him out. Give him a follow. And now we're going to bring him up here live, introduce him to the stage. Boom, bam, bang, and boom. Peanut in the building.
What's going on, you guys? That was quite the introduction.
Was that a solid introduction? Good energy.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was great. That was great. You had me smiling ear to ear over here. I know through all the technical difficulties, it definitely built up the anticipation. It definitely built up just the energy to finally be here too. And of course, the space that I host on Thursdays, the Peanut Gallery. There was just like such great conversation and people were jumping left and right. I'm like, okay, we got to wrap this up. Like I got a live stream to go to.
I think it's like, it's like you want to stay and live in the moment, but sometimes having that hard deadline forces like more excitement because you're running out of time. So if you really did hang out there, there'd be that wave and then it'd be like, all right, guys, let's shut this down. But the scarcity and having to be somewhere else actually makes like more hype and more important. Like, man, I guess I'll have to come back next week on Peanut Gallery so I can ask my question to Peanut or hang out on the live. So, hey, man, that's cool. This guy's in demand. We're happy to have him here tonight with us and shedding light. I already touched on it a little bit, gave people an intro, but we'll refresh you on the topic and no pressure. We'll work our way back in and, you can share your thoughts on it. But we already debuted what we were talking about today, which is a couple fold question, right? We asked people, are you guilty of this? We're all dreamers here. Are you guilty? Guilty of what? We said, are you guilty of, let's see if we can pull it up together. Boom. Are you guilty of chasing the pipe dream? What is the pipe dream? A pipe dream is an unattainable or fanciful hope or plan. So many hopers, so many wishers, but what we know and what we talk about, right, is if you never give up, if you never quit on your dream, if you follow the principles like we'll talk about in our book club, starting up a new book this Saturday, Truthful Living. Fun fact, this was actually written by my ex-boss. So my one and only boss that I work for, he wrote this with the Napoleon Hill Foundation. Napoleon Hill was the person who wrote Think and Grow Rich, the #1 success book in the world. So, hey, that's pretty cool, powerful lessons in there. But we talk about these lessons and laws, and we know if we follow them, then it's only a matter of time, right? It's time just has to catch up to the dream as long as you don't quit, you're consistent, you do the right things. If it doesn't work, you pivot, but you don't quit. So I ask people out loud, like, are you chasing this pipe dream? And the biggest thing for me that I think people may be a little delusioned is the half-hearted efforts. And that is what really hit me the last 2 weeks. I get inspired week to week, and I see big dreams. I see pure hearts, good efforts, but actions that don't match it up. And we just want to bring this to attention in case that's you. I don't need you to admit it. I don't need you to raise your hand. But if it could be you listening out there, this is something you need to hear so you don't let your entire life pass you by, hoping and wishing, right? So that's what we got up. On the agenda. I already touched on it some, but off the jump, does it like pipe dream? Like, do people in your ecosystem, you have an ecosystem of friends. You talk about your dreams, like you have this Chipotle dream where you want to be a Chipotle ambassador. You're working on your body goals, like trying to get in shape. We talked about some of your other goals with work and career. So do you see in your ecosystem of people just out and about where maybe they're potentially like in the pipe dream category, or do you see people where like the half-hearted efforts thing might apply, or maybe you just see people in your world like, dude, they're all just crushing it, chasing their dreams? You just let me know. This is just my opinion, my side of the fence.
It's interesting you bring this up, and I almost got to go back to what you just said in the previous statement too. For the longest time, I didn't understand, I didn't believe the concept of the reality is already here, time, or this is already a thing, time just has to catch up. I was like, what does this mean? Like, how is this applicable? And for the longest time, when I heard a couple of individuals say that, I was almost like in disbelief. I'm like, how can that be true? But if there's something that is important enough to you, and you have zero intentions, zero thought, zero effort giving into stopping or quitting, then literally time just has to catch up. So that was the first thing I wanted to comment on. But going back to the actual question though, like,
Sure.
people within my social circle, I would say it's a mixture. And the mixture part of it, people that maybe have a pipe dream, that they have a thought, it's quickly like nipped in the bud. Like it's quickly called out in a number of situations, and people are able to get that input and get that feedback and say, no, like if you have this thing that you're focused on that you want to go and do, again, I got to give a quick shout out to Bubba Gump. He shared something very simple and to the point. Franken just said, okay, if there's something going on in your life, say, okay, what's the problem? What's the solution? Trying to generate more income for, what's the best way to say it? Try and generate, a larger revenue stream for NinjaCat, the project that they're leading. Okay, that's the problem. What's the solution? Okay, revenue streams. And then obviously you can go deeper into that too. And their focus, their journey has evolved as a project, but that's similar for any one of my friends that I've been connected to. Some of them, like you said, they're go-getters, they're driven, they're focused in on what matters to them, and they're going after it. They're focused in different sectors within the crypto world, deep in. I know some of my friends are very big on that kind of focus, or RWAs, and they're deploying different devices, or deploying all these different pieces of technology into different businesses. That's what their focus is, and it pulls the best out of other people too. Inherently, they see people excelling, growing, and so that's where I kind of said, like, hey, if there's different situations that people are talking about or they want to bring to reality, people are naturally, again, excelling, they're striving for greatness, and so it pulls the best out of people. And again, if there's times where people are talking and saying, hey, like, this is just a pipe dream, or maybe not verbally saying it, but their speech matches that, people are like, whoa, like, what are you doing? We gotta correct this. Like, why are you talking in that way? Why are you talking down on yourself? Or what are you actually going to do so that those things come in alignment, that they actually match? And so alignment's huge. And shout out to Cody too, because he's been doing some really great spaces on Thursdays talking just about that alignment.
We shouted out Cody earlier. We shouted out Cody. We shouted out Libre, yourself, people that I see that are kind of talking self-help a little bit, right? Talking about working on the inner to make your Web3 dreams come true. And I love what you said. And there's a few things I want to touch on. First of all, for people out there, obviously we like self-help. We want to give you tools and talk about how certain things can help you. But you talked about you have friends who are planting seeds. And for me, especially now, I've made a post earlier on my other account, the Genie, about the Fear and Greed Index. And you guys probably have heard about that by now. It's basically this ranking that lets you know how bullish people are, right? They think, hey, we're going to the moon, or we're going to, I don't know, not Valhalla. What's the opposite of Valhalla? Hell? I don't know. Like, we're
the dumpster fire.
Down? Yeah, dumpster fire. So right now, that ranking is 11 out of 100. It basically means 11% of people are bullish and 89% are like, we're screwed. So what I want to say is, The reason why we want to get through these lessons is because I believe personally, when you talk about these people planting seeds, I'm also planting seeds. I have different ways that I play the market. I like certain niches. I like certain mindsets. One of them is I think I missed maybe the XRP and the Cardanos and not planting the seeds, but I see what memes are going to be. And I say, okay, I could play short term like everyone else. Or one thought process I take is show me memes that I think could last a decade. That's how I'm investing right now. Show me memes that I think could last a decade. Because if I believe that everyone's going to come pouring in here, that we're going to get crypto adoption and memes are the safest way and the funnest way, early tickers, early movements, 10 years from now, a 1 billion market cap's going to be like a $10 million market cap. And it's going to be, oh, this meme coin's 80 billion. This meme coin's 100 billion. Well, you can see them all today. The biggest ones like 1.5. Well, if you exclude Dogecoin and Shiba and those, like, I don't know, maybe Pepe is the biggest newcomer, like 1.5 bill or 2 bill, something like that. That's not that big. So I'll let you guys know this is a opportunity or time that can change your life. You have low caps with big visions like Ninja Cat or Dream Cat, but it's not only just coins. You have like NFT projects too, right? NFTs that are shaping the community, huge followings. They really master the community thing more than anything. The PFPs, we saw the hype in the past. So first and foremost, be aware, people. Be aware. I think this is a time where, honestly, if you plant the right seeds, $500, $1,000 go a long way, especially now when things are already down 90%. The second thing I wanted to say to what you said was about people and how they're moving for their dreams. I have known, if you're we as leaders, right, as people who speak about dream chasing or how to do these things, we have to lead by example, right, in everything we do. And someone may be looking, if I'm talking about myself, I don't know about yourself, but someone may be looking at me and say, okay, you talk all this stuff, but I still see Dreamcat's, 42,000 market cap. So obviously it's not working. Obviously you're not applying it. What I would tell those people is I have moved closer to my dreams in the last few months. I'm closer than I've ever been. I've done things. My dream is huge. My only dream isn't Dreamcat. It's a piece of the puzzle. But if you were to look inside or you want me to detail to you, I can show you how I've applied these things to go. I traveled the world a couple months ago. That was a 3-year dream of mine. I saw the greatest Christmas destinations, the greatest libraries. What I'm doing right now with social media, that was a failed goal for a few years that's at the forefront now. So I'm on track. I'm moving forward. But the thing is once it happens, once you win, everyone's going to ask. When Peanut is the Chipotle ambassador, everyone's going to be a fan then. Oh, Peanut, how'd you do it, bro? Do you have time? Could I take you out to Chipotle to pick your brain? Could you check my DM, bro? I need some advice. Or on the flip side, when we've done something big here in Dream, then everyone's going to want to ask. Everyone's going to be a friend. But guess what? By then, we won't have the time. It's just reality, right? It's like, it's not that you're too superstar. It's that you said what you were going to do. You laid it out. You laid out the principles, and then you achieve, and then you win. And that's when everyone takes note. In crypto, when do people buy? When it's pumping. No one wants to believe in the beginning. So part of the value that we're trying to bring you here is say, listen, we're going to show you through these books. You don't have to believe in me. Believe in Thomas Edison. Believe in Henry Ford. Believe in all these people who applied the principles, changed the game, and made their dreams come true. And those are the principles that we're following here at Dream, and they're intersecting over in the NFT communities with the Web3 builders like Peanut, right?
I love it. You shared a number of different things I thought were real powerful. The one thing that sticks out to me and something that has hit home a little bit deeper right now in this point in time of my life too is, and I'll kind of tie it to the example you gave. People don't want to get in something when it's down low or based on certain metrics or certain stigmas or perceptions that people give. Like when something's down, like again, like you said, people don't want to pay. Like they'd rather pay a premium when, for example, I'll be, pointing honest. I'll be straight up. Like right now, like long lost, been around. We just celebrated our 4-year anniversary. Cool, great, 4 years. There's a number. Thank you. Great feat in itself, but it's not everything. Like you can't just say, "Oh, great, we've been here for a long time." That's like the end all be all. It's not. So now it's like, okay, looking at, okay, what can we actually deliver? What can we execute? What can actually be tangible and measured? And there's been great things that we've done over these last couple of years. I can pull up a list of different things. Hey, we've done this, we've done this, we've done this. Great. And so I kind of tie that into the example of like, I know that right now where we're at, floor price maybe like 15, it's below like $20, which is, to me, is crazy. It's not a true representation of what we've done and or where we're going. And so people, people don't want to necessarily pay, sub $20 for an NFT, but when we're 200, 300, 400, 500, they'll be, how can I get my hand on a Losty? How can I get involved? I know it's coming. I know it's inevitable, because there is no quit in myself and for Scott Sheridan, the CEO of Long Lost, who's also the right-hand man at Riveting music label that's partnered with us at Long Lost. He's done things that a number of people have doubted, that haven't believed, but because he's stuck with it and he's surrounded himself with the right people, he was able to do great things in the entertainment industry before he got involved with music and Riveting in itself. Again, we'll keep that for a separate time, separate space. They've been able to see successes too, but again, it goes back to, people don't want to look at you when you have a perceived value that's low. And the final point I want to kind of deliver, kind of wrap this up into one thought. As I said, people don't want to, they don't want to pay $15, $20 for a Losty, but maybe when it's 2, 3, 4, 500, they'll be jumping at it. It gets me thinking of, like you said, our connection, our friendship that we've formed over, the last couple of years. A number of things, there were a number of things obviously that aren't in true like physical reality that you can see, but you saw certain qualities, certain talents, gifts in myself. And I think that's one of the most important things that any one of us can do in this space, not just crypto, but everyday life, business world, you name it. Being able to align yourself with people, even if there may not be a lot that someone has to offer necessarily, but you see someone's internal capabilities and you see their heart, you see what makes them tick and what drives them. Like, those people that can see the best in people and pull it out of them, regardless of what you can, again, like tangibly see. You can see I have a Minnesota Wild, quarter zip on. I got a Minnesota hat. Beyond what you can physically see, like, those are the type of people I believe that not only have, shape the world or are true leaders, but will be in the future to come as well too. So that was just kind of like a series of different thoughts that I wanted to kind of tie together, but it drives home the point of, man, I try and be that person too, regardless of what someone can or can't offer necessarily immediately to me, some sort of tangible impact. I really try and align myself and notice the people that have, again, those core characteristics and qualities that I care about. And I know that over time, being around those people, that there's going to be great things that they're going to do, that I'm going to do, that we're going to do together.
I actually respect that about you. I noticed that you're never too big for anyone, even when you have a solid foundational following that you built up, like 14K, something like that, right? Built from scratch. Even someone who's got not even blue check mark, you reply to everyone. I always see in the comments, like, you're not too big for any comment. I think that's a great characteristic that you have, just to say, like, hey, I'm here to meet great people. And guess what, guys? You wanna connect with people who have similar characteristics, because guess what? Meme coins, they are belief, but guess what else they are? Energy, right? Energy. You want to find like-minded energy. Our magnet is, if you have a dream, if you're into becoming the best version of yourself, if you want to become great, if you want to be that success in your life, then maybe you belong over here. But if you're someone who wants to be like 95% of the market today, which is also your greatest opportunity, just chasing candles, because this market has not matured, it's still just a money chasing game. What that means for you is, if you're paying attention, you can take advantage of those who say, oh, I'm selling everything and I'm logging off. And you just say, well, I'm just going to pick up undervalued long lost NFTs, undervalued Dream, right? Same thing. We were 14x, 15x higher than we were today, but we're actually better than we were back then by light years, and we're still improving. So all context. I want to take a second, shout out to some people in the comments that we got here with us. I think you got a few friends. I see my man Libre in the building. One other thing we're going to do if you're just popping in is we're doing a 2-form giveaway today. So we're giving away 15,000 Dream to 2 different people. The first way you're going to win is we're going to say a keyword, okay? And just to make sure you're listening, we're going to say a keyword, you put it in the live chat. If you do, I'm going to put a little check next to your name. One person who's the highest leader at the end will get 15,000 Dream. The other thing we're going to do at the end is we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to do a guessing game, okay? We're going to give you like 5 pictures to guess on, and whoever gets the highest score will win the other 15K. So keyword right now while I'm hitting the comments is Peanut. Show Peanut some love. Drop his name in the chat. If you're watching with us live, paying attention, say Peanut, and we'll give you a point. Right now, J-Dog is in the lead. So we got my man Libre in the chat. We shouted you out, bro. You were doing a great job of embodying these principles we're talking about. Consistency, discipline, and they're working for you. Libre probably replied to 100 comments today, 200 comments today. That's not half-hearted efforts. The whole topic of this thing is Libre, someone else out there says they want to be monetized on X. Someone else out there, life would change with $150 a month on just from X. And you're X monetized too, right? Different levels to the game of people who are doing it, but someone's life could maybe change from that. And they're saying, I'm trying. Just look at Libre if you think you're trying. Go follow him, look at his replies and see, oh man, he's replied to 250 things today. He's got a 9-to-5. He's got kids. He's got every excuse and still does it. And he's got the keyword, okay? He's got the keyword. So does J-Dog, so does Amos. Okay, I'll mark you guys down in a second. I saw another friend here, Ira. This must be a friend of yours, maybe? Someone you recognize?
Yeah, I was just on her live stream on Monday.
Oh, awesome.
The other
Shout
day,
out
yeah.
to Ira.
I love it.
Wait, hold on. I sound like I'm TikTok selling life insurance. Now listen, let me tell you a funny story, Ira. The first time I did it, because like I maybe look, see, I don't think I sound, okay? I think maybe it's the look. See, you're judging the look and you think, oh, maybe suit, insurance, whatever. I don't sell insurance, but funny enough, the first shill, one of the first big shills I did, someone was like openly hating me, like, I'm sorry, bro. That was the worst used car salesman shill I've ever heard before. Okay. That's what they said, used car salesman. I said, guys, like I asked the community, I was like, was that really that bad? Like, no, man, that's just you. So I wear my heart on a sleeve. Like I said, you don't got to buy anything. Just come here and get some elephant information. So I don't even need to sell you anything. What I want to sell you is the dream. That's it. Like the dream for you doesn't even need to be the coin. Okay. And my hat, it is America, not South America, but maybe you're from South America. I don't want to take it off because my hair is crazy, but
same for me. Same for me.
So when you throw on a hat, it means you might need a haircut or something. Okay.
Oh gosh, too funny. I love it. Bubba here too. Let's go.
Bubba Gump in the building.
Killer.
Love it.
I love it.
And then we got. Can you see the comments too? Can you bring them up? You can bring up someone if you want to.
Let's see. Okay, now I can. It takes up like my whole screen, so I can't see our video.
Okay.
But yeah, I can. Yeah, I can see it. Shout out to Astro as well too. I see he popped in as well. I love it. That's incredible. Some really cool people pulling up.
Peanuts got the lowdown on the NFTs, but he's like an NFT. I noticed when people, you can tell they have like an NFT like pick, right?
Yeah,
that's got to be an NFT. Is Astro? That's someone's NFT, isn't it?
Yep.
Astro.
Yep, from the Quirkies community. He was just in my space before this one, so we got to connect, and he does some pretty cool live streams as well too. So he's on that same trajectory as Bubba and Cody and Ava too. So it's cool
awesome.
Yeah, it's cool to meet some other people that are bringing their dreams to life through Twitch.
I respect creators. I like people who are, out there creating something, doing a space, doing a show. That's the best form. So awesome. Shout out to you guys. I'll take note real quick of who's in for the next giveaway. We got Libre 1, J-Dogs now got 2, Amos 1. Okay. Let's get back. I want to dive back in this topic again, and we'll just go wherever the flow takes us. But on this whole topic of half-hearted efforts and pipe dreams, I wrote down a few other things. And so the first question to you is, are you giving 100% to your dream? right? The answer for most people is no. If I'm being honest, the answer for me is no. But the question that we want to go through is, how bad is the dream that you want? And can you fill that gap? Is there a reason that you can find to put forth the 100% effort? A lot of people try something, say it doesn't work, and quit. And they do that cycle their whole life. Some people, I don't know, try for 3 months, don't see a result, and quit. There's so many things that knock people out, but you can ask yourself, are you giving 100%? And what would happen if you did? Ooh, just think for a second. What would happen? Because I think about what my goals are, and it's like, here's something that I heard, right? My goals is I'm trying to build on social media for myself first. I'm still going to maintain all my dream stuff, but then apply the same level where we're kind of on autopilot. A lot of people are on autopilot, but I don't think people can beat the dream version, but I can't talk too much smack because I'm not living it yet. So I want to do it for myself, right? And here's my perspective. I need to build on social, put out some videos. I had put out, I don't know, maybe 2 videos a week, 3 videos a week before on my Instagram. I found a guy who said, there's no excuse that in 1 week, you can't put 100 Instagram reels on Instagram trial reels. So there's this thing called Instagram trial reels. So if you have 2 followers and you're like, my reach is maxed, you can set your Instagram reel as a trial reel, and Instagram will show it to like at least 100 people. So he's like, you're not understanding. If you were to do that and just crank out 100 reels, you're bound to find one hit. And that's what this guy did. He said, I put out 100 reels in 1 week, and one of them got 9.2 million views. Now you're talking about a guy in 7 days who just max exposed like that because he was willing to play the game. And I said, I think I'm some big dreamer and I'm the massive action guy. That challenges me. Wow, you're right. Why couldn't I do 100 reels? Like, I've never done that. I've never done that in that time. What if I just locked myself in my house for 7 days and said, we're gonna make a reel until we go viral and hit 1 million views? I'd probably hit one. Or if I said, I can't eat ice cream or I can't shave my beard until that reel hits, like if you play the game in some way or you give yourself some pain point that matters to you, or you really give yourself perspective, you can see what you can do. And now the next question I want people to ponder, I asked you, are you going 100% on your dream? What happens if you do? The next question is, what happens if you don't? This is the most scary thing because some of you who are with us, we may never see again. You're going to go out on your journey. You're going to, you get married, you live a life, you get different jobs. And we have the chance today to give you some impact, just to let this sit with you and to think about your life and what you want to achieve. What would happen? How would you feel today if your hopes and dreams that you have, you got to 90 years old and they never came to pass? That kind of stuff's scary. Sometimes I've even daydreamed about my life like 10 years in the future, and I daydreamed a very mediocre level. And I don't want to say it because maybe that's someone else's dream. We all have our own standard, but like I dreamed up this mediocre thing and I just actually got sick to my stomach. And so that's occasionally something that like reels me back in to say like, hey, it feels good to move forward sometimes, but are you going to go 100% in? Are you going to make an excuse? What happens if you do? And what happens if you don't? So if you're out there, you let me know. Maybe something pops up. Maybe you want to share in the comments. Maybe that resonates with you. And then a second, we'll talk about that pain point, maybe burning the boats, a couple other things. So you have any thoughts on that? Like, what if you go all in? What if you don't? And maybe is there an all in for you? Or yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah. The first thing is it's almost a continuation of those couple different scenarios that you gave. And it's something I think, and maybe it's kind of a dark, maybe it's kind of a grim thought in reality to have, but I ponder and think, okay, if I was dead today, or if my funeral was happening today, what would people say? What would people remember me for? And again, just like what would they share? Like if everyone kind of like came up, again, just kind of like my visual example that I've thought about from time to time, like, if they're walking by, have an open casket, like what are they sharing? Or if each and every person gave like a 30-second kind of like snippet, like in front of everyone at the funeral, like what was it? Like what would it be? And to me, at least, again, I know for some it may be like kind of like dark and like grim, but it's like it's a very honest and real thought of, okay, am I, or did I go after everything that I truly believe in, that I have a dream for? And so take that, and I'll kind of bring it into the other questions that you asked. No, I mean, I'm not 100%, and I think you said the same for
Yeah,
yourself
no,
too. You're not
I've
100.
never. I've
Yeah.
achieved things like good things, and I've never gone 100%. And matter of fact, right behind me it says "all in on your dreams," and I think
Yep.
that's actually this way. I think that's actually like destiny. The way I got these signs, insane story. But that's the reminders when I look at that stuff. I think this is the season of my life where I am tasked with this, and if I'm dreaming optimistically, I'm like, this is just where I make my own stand, right? But we always think we got extra time and more time, and we don't want to die prematurely and say what
Yeah.
could have been because we all got potential. But I didn't mean to cut you off. I hear what you're saying. Go ahead, keep going.
No, that it was a great continuation off of what I was just sharing too. And so, your question too is, first, are you going 100%? And then, kind of the second thought too is, okay, well, what if we did go 100%? What if we were giving everything that we could to, what a great example that I think about is someone like Chris Bumstead. And now for some people, maybe the name doesn't ring a bell, but for some that are in the fitness or kind of health and wellness industry, like, the name like the back of your hand. And so for context, he is gosh, is it multi-time consecutive Mr. Olympia champion, which is, they have different categories. Again, this is for bodybuilders. They have different categories for different types of physiques, different looks, different appearances, and within his bracket or his division that he competed in, he was the best of the best across the whole globe, the whole world, for multiple years in a row, several years in a row. And I think about, to me, it's relatable again because health and fitness is a big thing to me. And I think about, that's kind of like a North Star for me, where it's like, man, he gave everything that he could to be crowned the best, with his nutrition, with his exercise, with his recovery too. Things that aren't about, pumping weights, and it has nothing to do. I mean, sure, nutrition could be a part of it, but I think about, the machines that he would use, and the treatment that he would get to make sure that his body was in the most optimal shape possible. And so again, I think about like, hey, what's actually possible when you go. And so I think it's important for us to have those individuals, those people that are kind of like our North Star,
Yeah,
where they are great examples of people who really went all in and gave it their all. And so not giving it our all, it gets me to think about, again, kind of like that grim moment of like, man, if I were to like die today, if there was a funeral happening, like, can I like sit there and be like, wow, you know, like I gave it my all? Or is it the reality and the thought of, I'm pretty sure you've touched on this too before, Zach, is, how many dreams are sitting in the cemetery? I know there's kind of like a phrase, there's a statement that
yeah.
you've shared before around that, but I think about how many things have not come to fruition, have come to actual reality, that are just sitting there. And so it's like, man, it haunts me, it scares me. It's one of those things where I think when done correctly, it can be one of the greatest catalysts and propellants, for your own journey, no matter what, hurdles come your way, no matter what curveballs are thrown at you, what storms you go through or valleys. It's one of those things where it's like, that you're destined, that you're supposed to go and do something. And it doesn't matter what happens, like you're gonna find a way, somehow, some way, you're gonna find a way to do it. And for me, I think that's one of the, again, like I said, one of the greatest propellants and catalysts is just thinking about, man, I don't want to, I don't want to leave this earth without having accomplished X, Y, and Z, or chasing out, even if you maybe don't finish it, but you're on a trajectory that is so in alignment with it, that in itself could be a ripple effect, that could be a total like transformation within a generation of people.
Dude, so much good stuff to touch on. The the leaders, you talked about, I went to Arnold because when you talk about bodybuilding, like I know
Mhm.
he did the same thing, right? He was Mr. Olympia, and I'm more familiar with his story. And just, it's like, if you always look at the top and the best who did it, you'll find it's really simple. And people don't believe me when I say this. I say, if you have a dream, like one of the biggest things to do is simply decide. right? Decide what you want, decide what you want to achieve. And anyone who did, it was that simple. Like, you're not going to find someone who went to the NBA and is just like, oh, I don't know if I want, like, they're like, I'm going to be an NBA player. You know, Jason Tatum, Boston guy, NBA legend. I think he was on one of those talk shows and they pulled up this letter from like second grade, third grade. And he was right. It was all like kids' handwriting. And he's like, what are you going to do when you grow up? He's like, I'm going to be in the NBA. I know it's going to be one of the hardest things I'm going to do. Even in all the different fields, Kyrie Irving said, I dreamed about this as a kid. I found so many examples of people who decided, you can see they professed it, they didn't accept another option, and they're just like, I am going to dream until reality. Now, we have to say that pro athletes is one of the things that actually does have an expiration date. However, most people out there, maybe they want to start a business. Maybe they want to, many people have a simple dream. They want to spend more time with their family. They don't enjoy their job. They want to travel around. The bulk, 95% of dreams are not necessarily time sensitive, but they can be if you pass away or, like that's real. So on that, I want to talk about, you talked about these, what you were saying at the end made two thoughts come to mind. You talked about these dreams and running out of time and what if you do it and what if you don't and the best and here's what they did. And then I want to give you guys something that could help you, like a tip. We're talking about this. Maybe we're riling up some fear in you. You got a little bit of worry. You're like, oh man, what if that's me? Let me give you tips because there are two things, in my opinion, that push us to move faster. And speed is the ultimate thing. From books I've read, it says money loves speed. Okay, meme coiners shouldn't hear that because they're like, yeah, what's pumping? Money loves speed. Let me find the next running ticker. It's not like that. It's like when you move with authority and you take massive action, things you may be thinking, oh, I've been chasing this dream for 3 years, and more will happen in 2 weeks on full blast than those whole 3 years. And the whole point is hopefully you figure that out before you're 60, right? You finally do it at 60, you're like, oh my gosh, I wasted 30 to 60. Another thing before I say these is Elon Musk says, if you give yourself 10 years to achieve the goal, that's how long it will take. If you give yourself 6 months to achieve the goal, that's how long it will take. And most people, they set too much time aside to do something. But no matter what deadline you're on, it'll still get done. And so they say, take your decade dream and see if you can't put it all into a year, right? And so I've done that to a degree. I've taken my lifetime dreams, what I thought were my biggest life dreams, and I have a decade timeline that I have in place. And I'm in year 1 right here. So I have 9 years, and from there I think I'd be 41 years old. So this is something I rehearse mentally each day. I read it to myself. I declare it. It's like a affirmative affirmation. I feel it, and I remind myself, and that's a little deadline. So here's the deal. I gave you all that to tell you this. 2 things that can help you, get a little bit more urgency for this dream and perhaps get the best action out of you. Number 1 is a deadline. I just touched on it. Deadlines work magic. I have achieved some dreams before. One was taking my family on their dream Disney vacation. Okay, so my mother, my sister, my brother, my other sister, and my sister's daughter, all of them, we never went on a family vacation before, right, in my whole life. And I wanted to go to like Disney as a kid. I never got to go. And I said, okay, I finally went. I told my siblings about it. I said, next year I'm going to take them. Like, we're going to figure it out. It's a dream. So I made a plan. I made a declaration. I made a video. I put it out there and I said, and it can't be no like peanut butter jelly Motel 6 vacation, okay? Sure, you could pinch pennies and do that, but it's a dream because the dream inspires more greatness. When you see the best of the best and you grow up on low-income housing, right, and you on food stamps or whatever, that stuff transforms you and you say, wow, this tasted so good. This was so fun that I want to do this again. It lights the spark in you, right, that gives you drive. So I said, okay, we need $17,891, okay? That was the target. I told them the dream plan and whatever, and I just got started. Piece by piece, I chipped away. I put down a deposit like on a hotel. That was a little piece I took. I said, let me make signs. How am I going to make money? I don't want to beg. Maybe I can inspire people to chase their dream or educate them, and in return, they'll help me. So I went on this huge thing. it took, I don't know, 5, 6 months. And for like 4 or 5 months, I made action. I did some things. There was even a few days where I did nothing, inconsistent. But I got to a certain point where I told my family, we're going to go. I said, we're going to go. We're going. I'm going to do this. And to me, that was number one, a deadline, but also a pain point. Am I really going to let my family down? I got them excited. I told them, I said, dream about it. See yourself, look at these pictures, get excited, tell everyone. And I put that pressure, and pressure makes diamonds, right? And so the point I want to tell you guys is, real life example is, I don't know, maybe over like 5 months, I got to like $5,000 out of the 17,000, right? Well, that's still pretty good. 5,000 on the streets of Charlotte. In the last, gosh, I don't know, 7 days, I probably got $7,000. And when I took this down the wire, you know the other thing it did? When you chase a dream publicly, you garner attention. So on the very last day, my Instagram story views were the highest they'd ever been, because people were following a journey. And that's another thing that you can do with chasing a dream. And I tell you, Peanut, when I was getting desperate and things were getting closer and closer, and I knew I had no choice, it was enough power to overcome my fears. If you're a dreamer, there is fears that are holding you back today. It's like, yeah, I want to do social too, but what are my friends going to think? And it's fears. And when the deadline was so strong, I mean, I was standing outside the Panthers stadium. I had a GoPro on. I was dressed up as Carl Fredrickson from Up. I don't know if you've ever seen that. I could probably pull up a picture, actually. And I had just been like holding up a sign and letting people read it. And I'm like, I got to go up a level. I gotta level this up, and I need to like speak. And so that day I basically like took the leap to basically shout. And I think it was like, adventures out there, chase your dream, make it come true, right? Something like that. But I finally had enough pressure to make me do the uncomfortable thing. And I got new results. People took their phones out. I drove down on Thanksgiving to Florida, and I said, I need to go bigger. I need to go where it all is. Stood on the street, almost got arrested, all this stuff, man. But guess what? At the end, the final day, I'm like, okay, I'm driving back now to Charlotte. I'm flying out. We got it done. The whole thing. We did the dream vacation, man. And it took me out of my shell, and it helped me, level up. But the big thing there for me was a deadline. A deadline is what made me do the work. And I'll just share real quick. I'm not trying to clout chase or anything. I'm trying to give you a visual for what I'm talking about. So this is like me in the store, right? Adventures out there, chase your dream. I'm dressed up. I got a GoPro on. I got like 100 balloons. And that's another thing, a little investment. You take a little bit of money and say, will this work out? That's like $1 a balloon. And different things. This is getting pulled over. This is my car at the time. I put them through the sunroof of my car, all the balloons. And yeah, you get people to take out their phones and you make things happen. So ultimately, a few things is a pain point. Can you find a pain point for your dream that can inspire massive action? And can you set a deadline? Two things that'll help you. So next keyword, if you're with us still, put deadline in the chat, and we'll mark you down for a point. But yeah, man, those are just two things. I got a little bit more yet, but two things that I feel like dreamers could apply, right, to their dream that they're chasing. And maybe even for your dreams, this is something you could think about. I talked about how I have a deadline this year. That's my money, right? And so I know I got 7-8 months or else. And so maybe for you, maybe there's a way to superficially put a deadline on a certain muscle mass, or pounds on the scale, or you have a lot of dreams, right? I guess you got to pick the one that's going to be like your banner core that you want to like do or die hit. But yeah, just in the back of the mind, man, how can we zero in? How can we, try one of these things? So I got the deadline going against me and the pain point. Working a terrible job, which isn't for me, or running out of money.
I believe it's pivotal. It's everything to have those dates, to have a little bit of pressure on. I think about certain situations. Let's say I'll bring it back to even to college. to school, my undergrad studies, and maybe in a little bit of a different different situation given that it's academia. But there was something very unique about, I think, I'll bring up a kind of a pain point for me. It was speech class freshman year, first semester, fall of 2016. And again, I try to use it lightly because I know that there's people that do deal and are working through serious maybe some mental hurdles or PTSD, but it brings back a lot of bad memories for me thinking about that class because it was scary. It put me in a very uncomfortable situation. Not to say I'm some sort of prolific speaker yet, but during the time I was working through a lot of insecurities. I still had a lot of struggles just with even articulating sentences in front of people. If I were to like put myself back 10 years ago and be on this live stream, it'd probably be very even more nerve-wracking for me. It'd be very uncomfortable. Again, probably would stutter on more of my words. It'd be more filler words, ums, uhs. But it was interesting again during some of those times where I had to write a speech, and again because of my own doing, my own choice, there have there were times where I had a week left and I had to put together enough, material, enough words. At least that's how I was viewing it at the time. Like, okay, how can I put enough words to get like 5 minutes, or 6 minutes or 7 minutes? There were some longer speeches I had to do, and that was again one of those very applicable like hit home situations where okay, I had to get it done. It didn't matter what was going on, what other classwork I had going on, or it's sad to say, but like it didn't matter what I was trying to accomplish or do at the time in the gym. That was like there were a couple of points where that was like my sole focus. It was like, don't care what other exams, like this is my main focus. Getting into library, putting out as many thoughts down on paper as possible, asking for feedback. Even at the time, we didn't have like the tech or resources that we do now with, with ChatGPT
Yeah.
or Claude or you name it. It was not to say we were in like primitive days back then, but it looked very different than where our current reality is, our current society is now. But point being said, there was that deadline, and I was doing everything that I could to gather enough resources, credible resources that I could not just like, copy pasta, so to speak, but draw my own conclusions and being able to, put something together that aligned with me. And so that was again something that drove me to stay up until 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, stay in the library until it closed down, and then I would go home. And again, some of this was my own doing. I'm not saying it's the professor didn't give us enough time, but
Oh, they always give us time. We just
yeah,
procrastinate, bro. I did the same thing.
exactly. So it was one of those real situations where there was a certain deadline, but even something like applicable to, and I'll kind of wrap my thought up here is, again, for like my journey here on this ambassadorship or, becoming a Chipotle ambassador
Yeah.
is, setting a date where it's like, hey, by this time, by this date, I want to have achieved X, Y, and Z, or hey, on this next leg of the journey, I want to say that I've done this, this, and this. Or, something even a little bit more applicable close to home, like I want to be living in a different house, a different apartment, X amount of months from now, and setting
Yeah.
that date on the calendar and saying, this is the date I'm moving in, or I've already moved in, and I'm gonna do everything that I can to, again, maybe it's cut costs, put extra money towards down, like putting all those different variables together to make sure that I can get to that point. Again, it's fascinating what happens when we put time and a time limit on what it is that we're
Yes.
doing. So a couple of different thoughts here. Again, you could apply this
Yeah.
to health and fitness, a number of different things. One other example I had real quick too is you think of these world records that people go out and set and do. Maybe it's some sort of pull-up challenge or muscle up challenge, and it's okay, you have 60 seconds to do as many as you can. Think about how much of a driver and a catalyst that is for people to say, okay, what can I do to change my form or to, to minimize extra unnecessary movement? And it's because that there's a very finite amount of time that gets you to look at all variables that are kind of encompassed and closed in what it is that you're focused on. So that's again just another thought, some different situations that come to mind when when you say, hey, if you're going to put some sort of time parameter
Yeah.
on what it is that you're focused on, like let's do it, let's pull it down. And again, it's funny in a way how like it's something that it's not rocket science. It's very straightforward. It's very simple, but it's actually, and because again, you've gone through these different things, and so have other people. It's very difficult to actually like do it. As a society, I think it's just because, I mean, we become lazy, we become complacent, or we just, again, full circle, and then I'll end my thought here, pipe dream, where it's like we put that out, or it sounds good, it feels good, and then it's just that it doesn't get completed, and we're selling ourselves short.
I think it's important to add that people say, oh, I tried, or I'm trying, or you don't understand. That's the biggest one, right? That's easy for you to say. You live in America. That's easy for you to say, you do this, you do this. I have one leg. I, grew up poor. I grew up rich. I never went to college. There's so many ways, or so many, I guess, excuses that people could say and think you don't understand. This is my situation, this, that, and the other. But the thing is that the thing that's inspired me is I found people who have, I have my own excuses. We all do. It's a story we tell ourselves. It's the past, right? It's something that happened. And that story is what's keeping you where you are, because you can find someone with way worse situations than you. There's a guy who's like a motivational speaker. Maybe his name's Nick, maybe. He's got like a stub. He's got like one arm with like a pinky finger on it. He's got like two stub legs, and he makes content. He surfs. He like is one of the best motivational speakers. It's like, you think you're scared to speak? Because I also, fun fact, I failed speech class in college. The irony, you wouldn't know it, but I was scared to speak in front of people, didn't do the speeches. So there was failures before we locked in a little bit, but I can relate to you on that one. So yeah, maybe you think you're trying. Maybe you think I don't know what you're going through. Maybe you're right. Maybe you are going through something. But are you going to let that be the reason you fail, or make that the reason that you succeed? Okay, because it can go either way. I want to show, look at this fan art. Holy moly. What a gem that is. Shout out to Libre. Libre always cooking up some fire content. You fit right into his theme. Everything's always on fire in Libre's world. So that was probably nothing.
He put that great video together this morning.
Yeah,
and I looked, and it happens from time to time when people put out great posts, or they tag me and stuff. I'm like, why are my notifications going crazy? I mean, I know I get some notifications, but I'm like, why are my notifications going this crazy? I'm like scrolling back, I'm looking, I'm like, this is killer.
Yeah, no, Libre had mine too. Shows me how much he's out there and replying. I love it. Okay, so I want to try to wind this down a little bit. We've been here for a while, about an hour. So I just want to do a few more things. I promised 2 bonus lessons. I want to give you those. I want to give you a DreamCat quote of the day. I want to do a bonus little giveaway game here at the end. So just a couple things we'll roll out, and then we'll have some closing thoughts. So first, because if I just go into the bonuses, I'll just keep going around. So let's go to the DreamCat quote of the day. Okay. We're trying this out. This one's a little generic, but just know we're always chipping away. We're always leveling up. So we got this here. We used to just have a quote of the day. Now we have a DreamCat quote of the day, because this is the Dream Talk podcast, right? Representing DreamCat. We want to see how we can make it more dreamlike. So from here on out, we want to work on doing this. We'll make it look a little bit cleaner and make it a DreamCat quote of the day. So today's quote is, don't expect extraordinary results from half-hearted efforts. This is the thing, right? Big dream. We can talk about it. We can, wish on it, hope on it, but the actions create everything. The efforts create everything. And this is kind of what we teach, right? It's a whole culmination of things. You got to have belief. You got to have discipline. You got to be consistent. You got to make sure your goal is sound. Maybe you are going all in, but the thing that you are chasing, or the route that you're taking, isn't actually a sound route, right? Maybe you're like, I'm going all in, I'm doing this, but it's not the best way. Like, there's a way that you can fine tune it or tweak it. Or maybe you're all in. Oops, sorry. Trying to get there. We go. Maybe you're all in. You're like, I'm all in on this community. I show up every day. I do everything. But maybe the vision, maybe it doesn't have the weight to go the distance, right? Like not every 40, 50, 60K community can go to billions. So you got to look at that too. Are you in the right community? If you position yourself in something that can go. So that's the quote of the day. I want you guys to think about that. Also on this show, I'll just do it quickly because you're here. I don't want to, meander on this too much. We do a quick peek, what's DreamCat at? If you're wondering, if you want to check it out, if you want to grab a bag, DreamCat's currently at 43K market cap. Okay, I was having issues with the chart, so I put it off to the side. But DreamCat's 43K market cap, all-time high is 735K. All of that happened before we've even put the pieces together. It was hype. People get carried away. The DreamCat mission here is, I think, pretty profound for a 43K project that is 1 year, 10 months old. We show up every single day. I am the sole founder, fully doxed. Okay, you can see we got the website, we got the podcast, you have my website here, the book club, the white paper, 53 pages. You can check this out. The mission is simple. Welcome to DreamCat, where dreams become reality. Together, we are building the largest community of dreamers in the world, a positive, organic movement built on belief, where you're encouraged to pursue greatness and chase your biggest dreams. At 1 billion, we give away 1 million. We will give away a wallet with $1 million of dream in it at 1 billion market cap to one of our loyal holders. So, hey, at the least, hop on for that lottery. And at 10 billion, we believe we'll change the world. And we share in that white paper how we think we can achieve this. So feel free to investigate that or don't. All good with us. Okay. Now, let's talk about winner number one, if we can do that. Okay, so we do this kind of a new thing. We're keeping track who's out there, who's listening and active in the comments. My man Astro came in. He said peanut code word. We love it. We had J-Dog. J-Dog's, I'm gonna tell you, I will just skip to the punch. J-Dog has been doing all the keywords. J-Dog had them all. So J-Dog is the first winner of 15,000 Dream. I'm glad it could go to the Bonga community. That's a community that we know. M Network, some other friends that we have, and that from Turbo. So a few communities we know about there. Shout out to J-Dog, 15,000 Dream. I'm not sure if we have you in our ecosystem. I'll reach out to you and get your stuff to get that over to you. Now, before we do our fun little game, which we're going to close out with, fun little guessing game, and we'll let you maybe even pick one of the things if you want to. I wanted to give you guys some bonuses. So I said I wanted to give some bonuses, some alpha, okay? At the very beginning, Peanut didn't hear it. Sometimes I get inspired with things and I want to tell you everything at once, but I can't always do that. You got to show up and digest each little lesson. We give them here. The podcast is on Spotify. Dig in. But I want to give you a bonus, and the bonus was, not my opinion, this is just the truth. This is the biggest thing that I am chewing on in my 9-year journey that I'm locking in on that's in my head today. I'm going to give it to you guys. In my opinion, no, not opinion. It's not opinion. The two biggest factors that help you manifest, okay, that bring manifestation into reality, to manifest your dream. Two big factors here I'm going to tell you. You've heard these, you know these, they're biblical, they're in the books, they're all over. But the reason why it's not working for you is because you don't believe in them 100%. Something that's going to make a shift in your life is not the principles or the cliches that you heard. Once you choose to trust, believe, and embrace these principles as fact, that's when the magic happens. And these two things are very, very simple. Here is the principle. Most people think they have to wish, hope, even pray, okay, coming from a faith-based man, to something outside of yourself. Everything is beyond. I gotta, maybe I'll get lucky because God will bless me. Maybe I'll get, and bear with me, I don't want to go against your beliefs. Maybe, I don't know, the universe will provide, or I'll hit the lottery, whatever. The catch is that your current reality that you see, whether you like it or not, is in fact created by you. Most people don't want to hear this. So what creates your current reality that you're looking at is your thoughts and your feelings, the ones that dominate in your mind over and over. Your hopes and wishes aren't what manifests your dreams. I want this. I want a Ferrari. I hope I get a Ferrari. I hope my moonbags go. that's not manifesting. If you say, I want the Ferrari, but deep down you're like, I'll always be poor. How am I going to get $10 this month? Then it's not going to happen for you. The trick is you got to get the thoughts on repeat. They have to be your dominant focus in your consciousness, but you have to live and feel them in advance. You have to feel what it feels like to be a Ferrari owner today, now. That's hefty. Hey, I'm driving a 1978 Chevy. It may be hard to visualize Ferrari. But that's what's crazy is we talk about imagination and they say that's for kids, but imagination and visualizing are some of the biggest keys, but you have to feel it now. Feeling is the secret. This is one of the biggest ones. And so understand on a deeper level, your reality is a mirror. It's a reflection. What you see is the accumulation of your previous compounding, dominating thoughts and dominating feelings. The big catch here is most people have a hard time changing it because they only base their actions, their excitement, how they're moving based on what they see. That's the catch. How am I going to have a Ferrari? I can barely pay rent. So their reality is so hard that it's so hard to dream. The same applies to crypto. You have to, if you think you're going to have the $1 billion, this is what I tell the dreamers. I say, when we find 1,000 people who adopt what I'm saying here, we don't have to hope Dream will be the community. By 1,000 people carrying out this right here, thoughts and the feelings of the $1 billion dream, when we move like it, when we tweet like it, when we post like it will create the reality because no one else is doing that. These principles are, when applied properly, will change your life. And hey, you know, if you don't want to believe me, that's fine. Read some of the books. I'll tell you, I have heard many of the things I'm telling you today. I heard years ago. You've heard discipline long time ago. But in order for you to shift, in order for you to make a change, what usually is the case is you have to see a proof in your own life. So you have an experience in your own life where not acting on discipline hurt you bad. And it caused, guess what? Pain. Remember, pain points make shifts. You felt some pain. Oh my gosh, I wasn't disciplined and he stole my girl right from me and now he married her. That was my dream girl. I blew it. That happens to you and then you're like, oh yeah, discipline is important. And so that's been the theme for me. I've known these things and getting an own example in my own life makes me believe. And what I'm trying to shift away from is I want to cheat time. I want to spend a week reading a book about a guy who's 80 years old who's chased his dream so I can learn from him without having to pay the success tax myself. And everything I share with you here is simply a pass down of whatever I'm working through. So those are my juicy bonuses for you. That's got to be fire. If it is, let me know. If I hear nothing, I know it was crap, and we'll discontinue the podcast from here.
I have a quick thought to add on to it, and it's actually from someone that I think, well, I don't want to say all of us have known, but I grew up watching some of the shows that Rob Dyrdek has done. He's, you know, was very involved in the skate industry for a long time. So if people are connected there, they probably know of him. I know he had a funny show. I thought Rob and Big that was on
MTV. That show, Big Black.
Yep, MTV, and then even Ridiculousness too has been a favorite show of mine as well. Stilo Brim, Chanel West Coast, or, you know, kind of his two usual culprits there on the show, and they did many seasons, many runs with that, and for some reason it was just there's definitely like divine alignment. But I happened to stumble across his podcast on it's on Spotify, it's on, you know, different platforms. And so just to kind of give it context, like I had that seed planted, like obviously he's, you know, has like a you know, a pretty like significant chunk of like entertainment in my life, like growing up over the years, having those different shows and those different things I enjoyed watching with other people. A lot of fun memories from, again, you know, being around other people and enjoying it. And so there's definitely alignment there to where, again, I found his podcast. I started listening to it a couple of years ago on Spotify, and it was one of the more profound things that I've heard really anyone share. And again, it goes into line with what you were just sharing. It's kind of like his catchphrase or slogan where he says, you know, see it, believe it, do it. Very simple, very straightforward, to the point. but it very much reinforces, okay, see it, visualize it. You're visualizing, like you said, being in that car, being in that moment, being in that house, being in that country with your wife, significant other, whoever, seeing it, visualizing, picturing it over and over and over again. Okay, there's one thing to visualize it, and you drove this point home too, but then it's believing it. Not only is it's in your thoughts, but it like deep down, like in your soul, in your heart, that for a fact, like, hey, this is going to happen. Your
Believe.
example, your Disney trip, you
Yeah.
saw it, you were telling your family and your friends, like, hey, visualize it, picture the different things going on, and then believing it too. Part of that is, and you could kind of classify it, maybe it's more so in the doing portion, but believing it's like aligning yourself where you went out and you were telling people about it. Like that was like a public act of you believing it, where you're positioning yourself, you're putting
Yep.
yourself in those spots where, hey, I not only visualize it and seeing it, I'm believing it, to where again it then leads into actually doing it. And yeah, we could talk about manifesting, and I know some people are like, oh, I don't believe in manifesting, because again, maybe the picture kind of gets tainted or twisted. But when you have all of those elements together in sequence, see it, you're visualizing it, and you kind of like cast that mental vision that you're forecasting what's to come. You're believing it. It encompasses, it's within your whole being, your soul. I know for a lot of us too that are in alignment with our faith, or that's something that's important to
Yep.
us. That could mean a totally different thing
Same
too.
for me. No, I'm faith based.
Yeah, for me and you, I know for other people too, like it could be something completely different, but I know we're in alignment on that end. And then again, to actually step into it, and you have all three elements in motion that you're living out, you're actually doing it, then man, that's where it's powerful. Because again, if you have something that you can visualize strong enough and consistently enough, and you're believing it with your whole core day in and day out, it's a part of your lifestyle, it's a part of your life, it is you in this life, man, you're gonna figure out naturally in some way how to get to that end goal. And again, I've realized too, it's more than just, as people say, it's more than just the destination, but the trajectory that you then embark on. And as you even hit that, think about like, okay, if right here is the point you're hitting and you're on this trajectory, think, okay, where are you going to end up keep going after you hit that too? So again, something super simple, straightforward to the point, but man, so effective. And it's crazy. Like again, came from Rob Dyrdek. He's a very,
I
has
like
gone
him.
to be a very successful businessman, does all sorts of incredible stuff now. But even just to see again for him too, like he embarked, set it on that journey, seeing and believing and then doing it, with his TV shows, different things he's done. Like look at where that has propelled him now beyond just those things too. So again, something that, I probably even need to post and share about more too, and document the journey of, hey, I'm doing X, Y, and Z to align with these steps, these components, and again, and I put it out there where it's like, I don't have it all figured out. I haven't gotten there, but I think it's important to put things out there, hold yourself accountable, document the journey so people can see like, hey, this is the transformation, this is what's going. And not everyone wants to go about it that way. That's really cool. It's everyone's, own decision. But for me, I think it's important to document and showcase the journey, because people can say, hey, me too. I can relate to that. It may look, it may be a different vehicle, but we're aligning on in a similar way in this lifetime.
I've always been, yeah, some people, if you're shy or whatever, some people say, I've heard experts say, don't tell anyone about your dream, because it's kind of like mental masturbation, right? It
Mm,
takes your power away because you're getting euphoric about the dream. I've always put my dreams out there and did the whole journey thing. And I found that when I put it out there, I don't know, certain people just like want to help you. It's weird. And they just like they're actually part of the cause that makes it happen by putting your dream out there. Like sometimes a viral video will happen and the internet just makes things happen, right? So I think there's power in that. It goes either way, but I'm the same way. I'm the journey guy, and watch me win, watch me fail, but only be for a short time, because we dream until reality. That's what
yep,
we believe.
yep.
Okay, so now let's have a little fun with the game. So we're going to do this guessing game now, okay? If you're here with us, let me just explain the rules. Something that we do that's we're having a little bit of fun with. So if you're in the chat, make sure you're active in the chat. It's going to be time related. And if only one of you is we've seen lots of people, Bubba Gump, Astro, Libra, J-Dog, Amos, some people from YouTube. I don't know who's with us currently, but if you're still here watching, people usually have fun with this. And Peanut, I've already pre-selected 4 different photos, okay? And in our private chat, if you want to pick the 5th, like you'll get the idea really quick. So like when I show something, it's going to be something that people know, but there's no words on it, and they have to guess what it is, right? So it could be like your favorite cartoon character. It could be like your favorite snack without the brand, or like something like that. So when I do a few, you'll see send me one in the private chat that you want to pick, and we'll do it as the 5th one, okay?
Okay.
So we'll see who's with us, okay? Get ready, get around. We had like 3-4 people. I don't know who we have live. So let's see. I'll be on the lookout. So I'm gonna do, for the first one, I'll give you guys 2 minutes. Keep it chill, okay? I'm gonna put a picture on the screen, and what you have to do is you have to tell me, you have 2 minutes to tell me in the chat, and you'll get a point. Same point system as before, but now it's at 0. And you have to tell me in the chat who this is. And as we get closer, you'll only have 1 minute. Okay, but this one we're gonna give you guys 2 minutes. So let me get rid of that. Go over here, bing, bang, boom. And there we go. Simple one, okay? Where we talk about cats. We like to talk about the cats. This is a cat meme. Do you know who this is? If you don't, you're learning on the fly. So this is probably one of the most popular cat coins there are. Some people may disagree, and they may say it's this one or it's that one. This has a higher market cap. But in my opinion, if we're talking about top memes, I think this is a legend. I think this is, you know, I think this could be one of the biggest cat coins, in my opinion. Don't say the name, you know, but you can, you know, you have an idea. Maybe you know it, maybe you don't know it. I don't know. But yeah, it was a great show. Okay, I see a few guesses in here. So I see who's going to be playing in the game. And we'll give you guys another minute just in case. I know sometimes people are like, I'm folding laundry. I'm out in my garden. I'm at work. I'm driving on the road. So, but yeah, the guessing game. I used to play this with my younger siblings, and I'm like, it's kind of childish, but it's also kind of fun.
It is. Yeah, I knew it probably within 10 or 15 seconds, which I'm surprised I do, but yeah.
Well, I got some more challenges, you know.
Okay.
One of
Good.
them's too easy. One of them I'm going to switch.
Okay.
Right now we got another 40 seconds. Okay, I'm going to pick one other one. I do like doing cartoon characters. Maybe I'm going to do that. Let's see. If you know this, you probably got to be like a 90s baby. All right, let's see. Okay, we'll do this. Is my replacement. I was going to do like a pistachio, like guess this nut, but it's just, I should have done a peanut, way too easy, but I don't know. People are from all over the world, you know, so some people haven't seen things, some people have. So we got rid of that. Okay, let's see. We got J-Dog with a guess. Sometimes they shift around. They don't all show up at the bottom. We got, so, okay, it's been 2 minutes. Let's see if I just want to make sure it's J-Dog and Libre. All right, looks like J-Dog and Libre. So you guys will be neck and neck for the competition, okay? You both got it correct. This is Popcat. You say Popcat the Top Cat. Okay, Libre got it, and so did J-Dog. J-Dog, where are you coming from? So I see you towards the top, which means you're on a different timeline. Where are you in the world? Libre, 1. J-Dog, 1. Okay, very good. Now, you only got a minute on the next one. Here we go. Get ready. Number 2. Let's get rid of that. We'll do an easy one. We'll do an easy one. What is this fruit? You have 1 minute. What fruit is this? What fruit is this? Let's see who's first, if at all. You know this fruit? You familiar?
I do.
American, you know, you're from Minnesota. I spent most of my life in Illinois. So, and I actually have my father still lives way up north in Minnesota, like hours past the Twin Cities, like way up in the trees, bro. The lake and the forest. When I went to his house, there was literally bear paws, like dirt, mud paws on his sliding glass door. I'm like, Dad, Is there a lock on this? Like, what if he gets in?
Yeah, yeah. Northern Minnesota is definitely a different type of place to be.
Are you in the city suburbs, or are you like? Is it like very woodsy around you?
Yeah, I'm west of the Twin Cities, west of Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
Closer to the city then. Yeah, it gets pretty boonies up there up north. Okay, does nobody? We got no.
No guesses.
In a
Oh,
minute. No one knows what this is.
oh. I don't partake in it too often. I've had it a couple of times, but yeah, it's not necessarily like my first choice for fruit.
J Dog is from New Jersey. Okay.
Okay, cool. East Coast, I love it.
Yeah, East Coast. Sweet. I'm in Florida. And he did guess it. His is just up there.
Nice.
So point for J Dog.
Nice.
I don't know what to say, man. You're fired. You're supposed to be the best. You're supposed to be like you're
Locked
a
in.
dreamer. You're gonna let Bonga beat dream representation,
Yeah.
bro? Come on.
Man,
Bonga's gonna clear the board. J Dog.
crazy.
A good old grapefruit. And did you have one in your mind? Sent to me in the private chat. A picture that you wanted to use.
Yeah, I will. I'll make sure it's in. Okay, chat. Perfect. Okay.
'Cause you could do a screen share, but I'm not sure how it would show up on your end because I have access to all.
No,
these.
I'll make sure I send it in the studio here.
All right, so now let's go. That's an expert one. Let's do a little bit of an expert one. This one's geography. Okay, I just like to get weird with it completely. Oh, but that can't be there. This is. I mean, this is like a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 challenge.
Okay.
All right. Let's see if you guys get this one. Hopefully it doesn't reveal words. Oh, shoot. Clicked the wrong thing. Here we go. All right. Minute on the board. Where is this? This is an outline of a country. This is an outline of a country. What country is this? Oh, shoot. Clock's running. You guys let me know. All right, I'm getting you loaded up here, sir. They'll have to guess the name, I suppose.
Yeah,
All right.
I could switch it to something different too. I wasn't sure
No,
if that was like the
that's
best.
okay.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
I don't know if anyone will get this one. This is a tough one. This is a country. It's definitely not America. Definitely not North America. And you know, this isn't a state. This isn't. It's a country. Obviously, it's pretty big. You may not be able to tell that. It's pretty vast.
Yeah.
Hint: you got 20 seconds left. I have been there before, so if you listen in the past, I've spoken about it. We got a guess. I got one guess submitted. Ooh, okay. So the two people in the game, both are on. Oh, Libre said grapefruit. Yours came in late though. I didn't see your grapefruit before.
Okay.
Iggy. So I'm just gonna have to not dox you, but I can't give you that point. All right, so J Dog and Libre, very good, very good. All right, let's go. We'll shift to Peanuts right now. We'll do Peanuts, his picture, and then we'll do one more. Last, mine's also a character. So for
Okay.
fun.
Cool.
Okay, so let's pull it up. You're gonna need to guess the name. They need like the full, like actual name, right? Like
Yeah,
it's
I would.
the-
Yeah. I would say.
Got to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you have it, guys.
Yeah.
1 minute. Who is this man? This is a mascot. This is a logo. It's kind of like
Yeah.
what we want Dreamcat to be, right? It's a guy that you associate with something, and something tells me that the guy who's up here for some reason likes this. Are you a fan of? I mean, we got obviously it's some form of like a peanut here. Are you a fan of peanut butter, or why don't you tell us the peanut lore in the next
Oh, that's
40
funny.
seconds? Why
Yeah,
are you so
40
obsessed?
40 seconds. It's funny because at one point my handle, for those that know, you're I say you're a real one. It used to be at Jiffy PB,
Oh,
which was
okay,
funny
okay.
because I was a Jif peanut butter, grew up on it for most of my life. And then funny enough, there were some different nutritional facts and different things
We
that
need more,
my
J Dog. We need more. We need more.
yeah, a little
Oh.
bit more. There was some information that like my parents had found out that I was digging into as well, and come to find out that Jif actually isn't maybe as healthy as Skippy, which
Mm.
Skippy was like the arch nemesis, like the rival for.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I could never do Skippy. And then sure enough, like switched over. I'm like, it's good. It's good. But yeah, it came down to one of those things where it was, yeah, the nutritional info on Jif wasn't as good as we thought it was. So yeah, made the switch over to Skippy. But if I could do like natural organic, like I go that route too. But
Yeah.
if we're talking like store bought, kind of like the natural route, yeah, Skippy's now the way to go for peanut butter. And I do like,
All right.
I like crunchy, I like creamy too. So I like both.
Time's up. I just want to say that. I used to be a big fan of Jif extra crunchy peanut butter. That was my
Ooh.
go-to,
Yep.
just on some toast, usually breakfast. It was like my go-to. Maybe throw a banana on it.
Blue label there.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, the blue label, the blue cap. You already know.
Yep.
Did Skippy for a little bit. Definitely, they're ironically their extra creamy is really good. It's just so smooth, and I think it's Resorts. So occasionally, like Resorts offer it in a little cup when you go to like a hotel or something. So that's when I've had it. But
yeah,
we
I
had
see.
two-
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I mean, we had two guesses, but are they missing? Like, is it actually what you said in the private chat?
So I would say this, like, because they both got it, and so I think in a way that's kind of like a tiebreaker. I would say, if you're cool with this, I would just say, like, if we have like 30 seconds, like maybe we say like what brand is it attached to? Do you think that would be kind of like a good like tiebreaker maybe? Or maybe like a next iteration? I'm cool with either, but if you want to take it like a step further in terms of the
Leave it up
answer, we
to
could
a
go.
coin toss.
Okay, coin toss, let's do it.
Okay, so you both got Mr. Peanut. I mean, technically, when I looked at this picture, it does say. So what Peanut was looking for was Mr. Planter's Peanut, but it's like ironic, right? It says Planters kills off Mr. Peanut character. So like, it sort of is Mr. Peanut. He was looking for Mr. Peanut, Mr. Planter Peanut, the full blown. But we'll do a coin toss here, and J Dog is up right now, 3-2 on Libre. So if Libre can win this coin toss, that would be interesting. So we'll do home court advantage. We'll give Libre heads since he's here every week. J Dog tails. Okay, heads. It's a trump coin. Head, tails, American Eagle. I'm going to flip it. Let's see. It's heads.
Hey, there we go.
Heads. So that's Libre, which means we have a tie, 3-3. I don't know. Oh yeah, okay, 3-3. That leads us to one final question for 15,000 Dream. This one's I don't know how old J Dog is. I want to say Libre might be at a disadvantage for this one, but here it goes. I have a character. This is a show that I like to watch at one point in time, among many. I still love animation a lot. And yeah, let's get that minute on the board. And this is for all the marbles for 15,000 Dream. Here we go. Who is this? If you want to name both, if you just want to name the boy, that's fine. But if someone names both, then more power to you, and maybe they'll just get the edge. Who are these two characters? Ooh, the girl's harder to remember. People know the guy, but girl's harder to remember. And I knew both even before I Googled them. Just came in my mind.
Dang, impressive.
Do you know these ones?
Don't
say them, but
no. The female is definitely harder to remember. I think just because of how important the boy's role is in the show. Yeah.
I can hear him in my head still sometimes. So this was a show on Cartoon Network, which I never really had. I was like a Nickelodeon kid, right? I watched SpongeBob and Fairly Odd Parents and Hey Arnold and all that stuff. But I'd stay at my aunt's house every once in a while, and she had Cartoon Network. And so then late at night, like Cartoon Network would play these cartoons at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, and I just couldn't sleep because I'm like, wow, we got Ed, Edd and Eddy. We got, what else was on there? Cartoon Network. There's Powerpuff Girls, not saying I love that one per se, but there was a few shows. This was one of them. Libre's got an LOL. It means he doesn't have a guess, which means J-Dog could swoop in. I didn't start the clock. It's definitely been a minute. J-Dog got a guess. No. Okay. Neither one of them knows. It was a stumping question.
Wow.
The name of the show is Dexter's Laboratory. Okay. Dexter's Laboratory. This little guy's name's Dexter. And he would say, Dee Dee, get out of my laboratory. And the sister's name was Dee Dee. So no guess. 3-3. Peanut, you got any coins out there so they know it's not rigged? Do you want to be the do or die to see? You got like a quarter or anything around there to?
Oh gosh, let me see. What do I got? I don't have anything right around me at the moment. No,
No
I
worries.
know I have some stuff in my room, but not directly near
You
me.
make the call. Who is who? You decide who's heads, who's tails between Libre and J Dog.
Because they both didn't know.
Yeah, so they're tied 3-3, and so now
Okay.
the winner will be chosen with the coin.
Okay. All right. Let's do. Oh gosh. All right. Libre. What did you do before Libre
Libre
was?
was heads before, J Dog was tails the first time.
Should we just flip it? I think that'd be fair. Each person gets a chance to have the other side of the coin.
Oh, okay. So we want to do Libre is tails
Yep.
and J Dog is heads.
Let's do that. I feel like it's fair to go both ways.
All right, here we go.
Okay. Let's do it.
Spinner. So we flipped it. So now J Dog was heads, Libre was tails. It's heads. J Dog takes
Wow.
a win. Not only getting 15,000 dream, but the whole shebang, 30,000 dream. It was a lot more at one point in time. It's not going to make you rich tomorrow, but a nice add stacked to your bag. We give it away every week. It's just something that we can continue to do sustainably, in the trenches. So congratulations, J Dog. Love to have it. Libre participating. Let's see. We can even get a little funky here, I think. Little funky, little funky, little funky. I could really use a producer to do that kind of stuff, but here we are. That's what we got, man. Peanut, thanks so much for coming aboard, dude. It was a cool dynamic to have someone to talk to. I'm usually up here talking to myself, and going back and forth was fun. It was a good time. You brought some great insights, helped shape the conversation. Was awesome to have you, dude. So thanks for joining Dream Talk.
I loved it. Like I said, there was, as we were saying, there were technical difficulties last week.
This was supposed to be
Wasn't
last week, yeah.
what wasn't meant to be last week. It was supposed to be this week, and honestly too, just with like what life has brought over the last couple of weeks and where I'm at right now, it just, even that too, it built the anticipation, it built the excitement too, where it's like, oh my gosh, like now I gotta wait another week. So it definitely added in. And again, appreciate you even considering and bring me on. Like you said, usually don't bring people on, so
You're the
definitely
first guest, dude. You're the first guest. So
Wow.
someone
Definitely an
else
honor.
was asking me, who was it? He was at ETH Denver. I know that, but he just asked. He's like, maybe not Crypto Life. He was like, oh, you have a podcast? I'd love to be a guest. So we'll see. Maybe there'll be a slot for like a bi-weekly show or a once a month to have some kind of guest. I think it's cool because obviously you can merge networks. It's a good way to player pump player, right? I want to be aligned with the person. I don't just want to bring on a random.
Yeah.
So they got to fit into kind of like the dreams, but it was easy because, dude, you know the drill. You know what's
Yeah,
up.
we've been connected for so long too. It's
Yeah.
it's funny. And I know I shared this with you. I feel like it'd be just fun to share this here in kind of the closing moments of the stream. I'd brought you on, funny enough, a long lost space back in 2025. It was the first time we had probably gotten connected a couple of months before that point, but I remember, like, I very vividly remember inviting you on at that point, and that was leading up to our 3-year anniversary at the time. And then funny enough, we had kind of
A year later to the date, right?
which is just like, it's so crazy. Like, I still think about that. I remember looking back and I'm like, I remember saying like, yeah, I don't know if I said verbatim, like I think this was maybe the first time, but I'm like, no, we definitely, I had invited you on prior. And again, it's just so, like, not by coincidence, like there was like something like divine and specific about it, but I thought it was so cool. Like, and now that first guest to join you here, super cool, super honored that you'd even consider me to be on here. But yeah, I just thought that was so cool. Like, when you're in alignment with the right people, it's just like there's confirmation, things line up, things like make sense, or sometimes they don't make sense, and that in itself is the alignment. You can't explain it, and it's just like, okay, this is meant to be. So I thought that was cool. Like, I remember looking back and I was like, yo, a year later to the day, like the exact Monday, a full 52 weeks, you're back on Out to Lunch with Long Lost, and now we're here. It's just like, it's so cool.
And it goes to show, hey, we're two people here in the space, right? it's a good time to see who's around, who's here, because tough times, obviously, right? Down markets, fear and greed index 11. And what are we going to have going forward? Some people say it could be the collapse. We have more fear. Bitcoin goes lower. It gets worse and worse. But time tells all, right? And I think if you're around communities and you're looking at communities that you want to get involved in, I think DreamCat would be a great place because we have a decades-long vision, a bigger dream. Peanut as well. He said they just went, now that you did your 4-year anniversary, right?
Yep.
4 years of the long lost community, the NFTs. He said they're if you ever want to stock up, $20 a pop, undervalued though. There's something as high that's been as $200, $300, $400 for some. You said at points in time. So we all know how that goes. So good time to be a believer. And yeah, thanks for coming on. Libre loved it. He said, love hearing you both speak. The duo effect. So we will explore and see, maybe we could bring on other Web3 or dream-based guests. And then to J-Dog, appreciate you being here the whole time, brother. Said much love. Thank you. It's going into the Dream Vault. We love it, bro. Let it simmer. Let it sit there. It's a seed. So we appreciate you. I'll reach out and get your Solana. But yeah, dude, that's it. If you guys choose to stick around, I'll probably chat with you in the back room for a second here, Peanut. But there will be, or maybe not, because there's an outro that's going to play on the screen. And if you guys want to watch that, you can. Just a little more Dream Talk stuff. But dude, awesome having you on, bro. Thanks.
Pleasure to be here. Great to see everyone come through. Bubba, Ira, Astro, so many cool people came through. It was really, really fun to see some of those individuals pop in and and hang out with us for a little bit as well too. So yeah, great to great to connect with a lot of great people.
Awesome. Great to see you guys. We'll catch you on next week. Actually, Saturday, if you want to join us, book club. We'll be doing a new book, Truthful Living. So Saturdays, 9 p.m., another stream like this, I'll be talking. All right, guys, take care. My name is The Genie, also Zach Krupp, also known as DreamCat Solana, and this is Peanut. Give him a follow.
That'll do it, guys. I just want to take a moment to send my gratitude. Thank you to all the dreamers who show up here, who support, who dream with us. I want to remind you that the mission here is not just meme coinery and, hey, come show up and waste your time. We're on a mission here. You may not understand it yet. You may not fathom or dream this big yet, but we are here to build the largest community of dreamers in the world. Laugh if you need to. Get it out of your system. All dreamers start somewhere, and it starts with a vision. What I love about the world, what I love about actually meme coins especially, is that belief is the main character. Belief is the main source of everything. It all comes down to belief. And that is what we are building the dream on. Matter of fact, if you know about the book Think and Grow Rich, it's in here. We talk about desire and consistency and compounding and all these things. We're building this mission on laws and principles that have been universal and conclusive for decades. We're building Dream in a way that has never been done before. We are a first mover, planting our flag in the space with full respect to the builders and the degens and everyone else who's built out this space. We're coming here as a newbie, as a first mover, and we're doing the opposite of everything you've ever seen. Our market cap may vary. Our holders may vary. Our volume may not be that sexy, but if you're hearing this message, you have a chance. You have a chance to watch the quantum leaps of improvement, step by step, moment by moment. It's revealed to you how the dream can change the world, how we can go from 2 believers to 10 to 1,000 to 2 to, and as it goes on and on, the dream becomes more and more undeniable. You know, there's actually 3 specific things that we're going to do that set us apart. And that's this. Number 1, we're building on unshakable belief. Belief is everything. Some use it. Murad uses it a little bit, but we're using it at a level never before seen. We are giving you reasons to believe. We are showing in our consistency, stacking. Okay, number 1. Number 2, massive action plans. Some people have done them. Print out flyers, dress up in a chicken suit, go crazy. I've done these before. They make dreams come true. I've done them going 60%, 70% in. What could it look like if we go all in? What could it look like if 1,000 dreamers participate in massive action plans? I see a future that is undeniable, that is unstoppable. Why? Because the ticker is golden. It's dream. It's universal. It beats time. It goes for any sex, any religion. Everyone has a dream. But guess what? 97% of those people aren't going to see it come to pass. They don't have what it takes. They're not willing to go the distance, which is why so many have come to the dream and left. Because for most, seeing is believing. But if you're listening to this message now, there's a very good chance that you happen to be a visionary, or luck has found you and you are in the right place at the right time. It would be criminal of me not to encourage you to take a look at Dream, use your best judgment, and consider buying a bag. When you paint a vision so vast as building the largest community of the dreamers in the world, doing the opposite, being a first mover, building Dream as a mascot. Did you know that that's who Dream is? Dream is a mascot. He doesn't maybe have a meme. He's not one of these OG cat memes that everyone truly loves. He isn't known yet, but he's becoming known here, the most successful cat in the world. This is a community where dreams become reality. This is a community, when it's all said and done, where you can come chase this dream together with us while simultaneously chasing your own. And to be very blunt and clear, that is exactly what I am doing in real time. And I believe that if I'm able to make my dream come true within the Dream Cat community, well, Dream is a part of that dream. And so it's like a vision on top of a vision on top of a vision. But with success, which of course I believe in myself, I do, Dream will become maybe even more than what we envisioned it to be. It's simple concepts, brick by brick, compounding consistency, 1 to 2 to 8 to 1632. I skipped a bunch of numbers, 120 something, stack, stack, stack. We appreciate you being here. We simply want to remind you of our intentions. We simply want to remind you to tap into your dream. We want to remind you to wake up, stop chasing. Perhaps the time of chasing runners is over. Perhaps a season of builders is coming. And when it comes, I don't want you to be late to the party. No one is building like Dream. Dream does not have a ceiling. If you want to investigate this yourself, I encourage you to go over to the website, dreamcat.xyz, and take a look with your own eyes. Most will not. When they hear about the dream, they look at the volume, they look at the chart, they dismiss it, and they keep going. 1,000 believers, it's just math. In this 54-page PDF, we tell you reason after reason, specifically why Dream can change the game, why it's a mascot of tomorrow. We explain why I'm in Orlando, right? Why I'm here. It's for the dream. Check it out. Take a look. Do your own research. Buy, don't buy. We're indifferent. It's good either way. What we really want is for you to chase your dream and make it come true. And if you can do that and you don't buy a single token, we will win. Thank you guys for hanging with us. We hope to see you next week, every single Thursday, 7 p.m. EST. Next week, invite in a friend. Retweet it out. Share it. Are you really a dreamer? Why is your PFP a dog when it could be Dream Cat? Shout out to the dog. Shout out to my friends. Fine. Thank you guys. Take care. We'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.